Hello and welcome to What We're Watching. It's Catherine.
It's Liz.
And Ed. And John.
And we also have a special guest with us.
Woohoo! Gigi's here.
Yay! Ginny's here. And she's also in a very festive outfit because we are doing...
in the mood.
Yeah. We're going to do a rundown of all of the Christmas stuff we've been watching.
Or, well, also Christmas favorites. I think it might segue into that. Because what does your T-shirt say, Virginia?
I don't know. You read it.
Okay,
Something about Hallmark
This
watching.
is my Hallmark Christmas Movies watching shirt.
Ooh,
I mean,
looks very comfy.
in years past, especially even like, working adult but no kids, I could easily 10, 15 Hallmark movies a season. Easy.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a commitment. Good job.
I mean, you start around Thanksgiving, you give it till like New Year's.
Sure.
It takes about 2 sittings to get through one. Maybe one night you watch a whole one all in one shot. I mean, the Hallmark formula, you get like a missed kiss somewhere in the beginning.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then the build up the whole time, and you get like one kiss at the end. But somehow I still love it.
That is definitely the formula.
Oh, that's
for
almost
sure.
like the Bachelorette.
It's like the Bachelorette version of an advent calendar. Like, it's kind of disappointing, but every day you go back for one more chocolate.
But I was like, I don't know, a few years ago, finding out that John actually likes Hallmark Christmas movies.
I do, because they're just romantic comedies. They can be Lifetime, they can be Netflix. I don't care.
Well, here's the thing. I took forever to get like Netflix. It was not until lockdown that I finally got Netflix. So
meaning you had the delivery service, right? You had like one DVD a month or whatever. But you mean the actual streaming service?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I definitely watched like the Hallmark Christmas movies. But now, of course, I'm doing the Netflix and Hulu version.
Yeah, sure.
And they are not as sugar sweet. They don't have as many cute, like, Christmas moments. Like the Hallmark movies, it was always like, you got the hot cocoa scene, you got the mistletoe scene,
Christmas lot
you got
scene.
the Christmas lot scene.
Yeah. Ice skating.
More backdrop of Christmas.
Yeah.
But I do like them, and I'm, checking them all out.
Okay, so let's start with what Netflix Christmas movies are people watching? What have you watched, Ginny?
Well, Justin Hartley from This Is Us, I'm in. The movie was the Noel Diary.
Yes, I watched it too.
As soon as I saw that Beefcake was going to be in a Christmas movie, I'm in. 100%.
Yeah, I mean, it
Do I
was
know
not
him from
perfect, but
from TV from CW?
Oh, yeah, he was Arrow on
Yeah, okay. I was
CW.
just making sure.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I was just going to say, or start.
No, he wasn't.
Oliver.
No, he wasn't Arrow on CW. You're talking about from
No,
This
like
Is Us.
way back CW.
Oh,
Yeah.
way back.
Way back, CW.
Yeah.
He
Oh,
definitely
I don't think I
was.
knew that.
Like,
Okay.
like Smallville, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
That era.
Well, that needs clarification.
Whatever.
All right, now we get it.
Well, right, because we did just call it Arrow, so it's a different, yeah.
Right. I know who you're talking about because I was just scanning through all the apps and I'm like, I know who that is. Not right now. I'll pick something else. Someone else will watch that, I'm sure.
I'm a chick, so
I'm right.
I was into it, and it did not disappoint. I really liked it. It's a kind of classic role. He was a novelist.
Oh, no.
It's always he's writing a book, And then the lead female, she's from Station 19, Barrett Doss.
Yeah, she was good, I thought.
It was okay. I mean,
She's hedging everybody. Liked it, but not
I
loved
didn't
it.
love the chemistry, but I was so into him, it was fine. But it took me a while to place the neighbor who I loved, had a really cool role.
Bonnie Bedelia.
Yeah, and I was like, what do I... And she was from Parenthood.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she played the mom, which I love
her.
Parenthood.
Yeah.
I miss Parenthood, actually.
And John, you always love when there's a dog in there. I don't know. I've listened to, what we were watching. There was quite a few that had dogs. You were
Well, that's true, and I do care about what kind of dog, I suppose.
You are such a dog person. Don't deny.
Well, that's absolutely true.
Yes, and the dogs love you back, all the family dogs. But he, like, right off the bat in the movie, he's, like, referring to, oh, my girl Ava, his dog was so cute, and his car was so cool. He had this, like, old truck that was, like, I mean...
So he really had a lot
the whole
against
vibe.
him in this,
The whole,
right?
His vibe was very working for me. I liked it.
All right, well, good. Okay, so what about Falling for Christmas? Did you watch that one?
I felt obligated. It was torture. I'm sorry.
What?
Okay, so for two reasons. One, Lindsay Lohan, I was like, okay. I haven't seen her in
This
a while.
was her comeback vehicle. What is wrong with you?
Yeah, let me check it out. I mean, there are so many Christmas movies now. There was even when I only watched Hallmark, but now you add Netflix and Hulu to the mix. It's insane.
And HBO Max, I watched a couple
God.
on there.
But
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like Falling for Christmas, why I liked it. Well, I did the same thing. I felt like, okay, Lindsay Lohan is having a little bit of comeback. It's getting a good reaction. So I felt like, well, I'll give it a chance. And also because of Jack Wagner. And, it was an Overboard type of
Oh, I mean, the vibes
formula.
of Overboard for sure. Because,
But
she has amnesia. So
Right.
immediately it's Overboard.
And she's like the rich girl that
Yes.
Right.
gets amnesia.
and now has to be, cared for by, a more simple lifestyle person.
Sure.
Cord Overstreet, who was from Glee.
Right.
So,
right.
I mean, I thought it was charming. I don't watch all these type of films all that often, so I didn't know what the expectation was, and I felt like, all right, it was pretty fun.
was cute.
But
It was
I
cute.
had just put in the mind frame like this is sort of a knockoff of Overboard with Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell, which can never be done as well as that ever. That is such a genius
was like-
movie.
yeah.
Arturo.
Oh God.
Katarina.
That I'm sorry. Their
So good.
chemistry and her just whole demeanor in it is so fabulous.
Well,
Goldie
there was
Hawn.
a sequence in this movie, Falling for Christmas, where she's like making the bed and like all of a sudden she can cook and, she's working on all these skills. And then later they're like, it's been 4 days. I was like, wait, what? How did she learn all of these things in 4 days?
But also in
whatever.
today's times, you're like, how could this person be this lost? Like, come on. But it's like, all right.
Like the new love interest. Of course, it's a typical Hallmark formula where she's already engaged to someone else and then she falls in love with someone else.
In 4 days.
And of course,
Okay.
is he widowed or divorced? I can't remember. But
He's widowed.
that's so classic. But the daughter is adorable. So cute.
I thought Lindsay Lohan's fiance, played by George Young,
He's
the
hilarious.
Tad or whatever his name was, he was very funny. I mean, the other thing about this, it really was trying to be much more of a comedy than even a romantic comedy. It was like big, broad comedy
A little
moments.
slapstick.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
I enjoyed it.
All right, well, good.
Yeah.
Okay, so what else on Netflix? I don't think I have anything else on Netflix. Oh, Home for Christmas. Oh, John, we started Home for Christmas. Okay, this is ridiculous.
I knew you were going to bring this up, and I don't think you even have the real evidence to do it yet. But
Okay, well, first of all, we have to say, where is it from? Is it Swedish, Norwegian?
I think it's Norway.
Norway. Okay. So we're flipping around and John's like, what about this Home for Christmas? Oh my gosh, there's a season 2. You have to watch season 1. I'm like, okay. And then he totally busts me out because it's obviously in Norwegian. He's like, you're going to just switch it to the dubbed version, aren't you? And I'm like, well, yeah. And he's like, no, don't do it.
Oh, that's so
and
much work.
so what did you do, John?
Well, as I will always do if we're watching something together, I read the subtitles for you.
He read the entire episode. Oh my God. It was very
With emotions behind it or what?
It's challenging when it's like that and it's just wall to wall. You're kind of I don't know. I just gotta read. I can't focus too much.
Yeah, he's not really putting performance on it. He's just, making sure the words come out. But it was very, very sweet. So we watched the first episode of that. They're short. They're a half an hour, right?
Yeah.
John
Yeah.
does a live SAP for you, secondary audio.
Oh my God,
programming.
it's so
pretty
great. And it really allows me to then watch their faces and actually see the performances.
Okay.
And okay, so fine.
Very nice, John.
And not be distracted by terrible dubbing.
So then the next day, I decide, oh, well, I should pick up with episode 2. And I flip on the dub version because I'm like, I can't, I'll never get through it. I have to pause all the time to try and read it, being dyslexic. So it just is not really functional. So I start it and I'm like, okay, this dubbing is not great. And I still had the subtitles on. And then I started to notice that what they were saying was not the dubbed version.
Oh, no.
They had completely rewritten scenes. Like they were talking about something and it was because normally you could just follow along and listen and read at the same time. Fine. I was like, wait, what? Oh my God, what is happening? They had taken complete liberties with this dub version. So I don't know. I think I have to go back to Swedish. And so I did that for a little bit and then I had to keep pausing it and then I stopped.
This is very controversial.
Yeah, well. But it is very cute. So
I know I was really psyched for you to see it because it is very cute.
I know, but now are
it's-
you going to have to read 8 episodes and then?
Well, they're only a half hour.
Okay.
Oh, jeez. Has anybody ever seen the Brooke Shields? I think it was last year, the year before, A Castle for Christmas.
I saw that last year. Yeah.
That one's a good one. I think you should, if you haven't, and this is your genre of interest. Brooke Shields and Carrie
Elwes.
Yeah, from Princess Bride. It has most of the tropes that, she decides to escape a scandal and goes to Scotland to
I
a
do love that the
castle.
setup is that she's a romance novelist.
Right.
That's fun.
But not very good at romance herself. How ironic. Oh my God. So she escapes a scandal and goes, like I said, to a castle in Scotland. And the grumpy Duke who owns it is also single and ready to mingle, but begrudgingly. So it takes a while for the heart to melt. And, right at Christmas in this magical castle that's kind of falling down. So I actually enjoyed it. I thought Brooke Shields did a great job in it.
Now, is that a Hallmark one? I think it's
Netflix. I thought we were on Netflix Christmas.
Oh, it is Netflix.
Yes.
Oh,
Yep,
okay.
Yep.
Wow, it really felt enough like a Hallmark that I didn't remember where I saw it. But
Well, there is a formula that they all kind of follow. So
Right.
I just saw a meme, so I won't take credit for it, but someone just said, actually what I'd really like is where the small town girl decides, I don't like anybody in this town, and goes to the big city and meets somebody, because it's always like the reverse.
I know, it's like they inherited a farm. I've seen that so many
They got to
times.
go home for the holidays and inherit the family house. Yeah, no,
or
it's
the family business that's about to go under that they
They gotta
somehow have
save
to
the
save
business in
it.
time for Christmas.
Well, I mean, as we have said, it's a formula. So
I think it was last year, Love Hard. Did you guys see that on Netflix? It was really cute. The formula was like that they had met online, but the guy had used a picture of the cute guy in town. So then she comes in town, and it's like, oh no. So they try and play it off for quite a while, but then she ends up falling in love with,
Yeah, it was really good.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was very cute.
I really thought Nina Dobrev was so good, but seriously, Jimmy O Yang, I mean, he was hilarious. You're right.
So cute.
Yeah, it was
Something
catfish.
fish?
Right,
Yeah.
right. It's like a
I
catfish
was
story.
say meat cute.
So
but a cat does like fish and meat and thinks they're both cute. So actually, that all works.
So Darren Barnett is the actor who's playing the handsome, rugged,
right.
So, and he's from Mindy Kaling's series
Never Have
recently,
I Ever.
Never Have I Ever, which is great. Which he's playing a 17-year-old in that, but of course, in real life, he's like
Right.
almost 30. It's like, what? Oh no, okay. But anyway, so it's him and then Jimmy O Yang, who is a fantastic comedian, and a lot of people know him from Silicon Valley. He basically is, catfishing her, and it's very funny.
And like the family falls in love with her.
I know,
mean,
it's very sweet. It's really cute. It's really, really
But
cute.
then she realizes she's not compatible with the good-looking one.
Right. She was kind of bending herself into a pretzel to appeal to him,
It's
too.
a cute one.
Yeah.
Just put it on while you're rapping or something, Liz.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a real good one.
Love Hard.
Yeah, you told me to watch it last year, and then I didn't get around to it, but I really want to.
All right. Well, you can somebody look forward
an
to,
easy
John.
one.
Okay, so you had me watch one. It was last year on Netflix. A Boy Called Christmas.
Oh my gosh, I loved that last year.
I don't know that
Oh, yeah.
one.
And it wasn't my Hallmark genre. It was just a beautiful kind of classic Christmas story. It was so well done. I just loved the look of it. It was such a great story. So I watched it again because a lot of these Christmas movies, I'm half watching in and out, doing stuff.
Right.
So I could not do the subtitle thing either, even though I can read subtitles.
Yeah. Yeah, you
Yeah,
have to
that one
really-
I wanted to
yeah.
sit and watch again with Mom. I knew she would love it.
Yeah, obviously A Boy Called Christmas. It implies like, okay, we're going to deal in sort of a fantasy world, right? But it is excellent cast. Kristen Wiig, Stephen Merchant, Jim Broadbent, Toby Jones, Sally Hawkins, and really who sort of plays the narrator or the lead character, Maggie Smith, who's like one of my favorites. And it really has such a magical look to it.
So it's animated or it's not
No,
animated?
it's not.
It just
It's
is
live
like
action.
really stylized.
Yeah, it's live
Okay.
action and highly stylized. And it's always nice to have like a new take on what you think is the story of Christmas or the origins or how did there become a Santa Claus or
Right.
something like that. Now there is some obviously probably CGI because there are, like I said, very magical or fantastical elements of it, including like a little mouse that is.
He is so cute.
I
The
don't
little
think
mouse
I
is
don't
so
think you could have
cute.
trained a mouse to do what this mouse does. Yeah,
Yeah. Train my stool.
It was very heartwarming.
yeah. So I actually think that's one of those ones that you could all sit down with the family and watch. But one of my favorites to sit down and watch. And I do like Christmas movies, but I really have my favorites. So if I'm going to get to them, even those, it's so rare I add a new one in. But it was Netflix 2018. And trust me, this needs to become a family classic for me.
Oh,
Christmas
okay.
Chronicles.
Ginny, you read my mind.
I mean,
Liz, that is the one you've been like.
I will promote it. First of all, I have a crush on Kurt Russell.
Well,
and that
we
friggin'
loved
bushy
Overboard.
gray hair. Yes.
we loved Overboard. So that combo coming back
Oh
again for a
my
Christmas
God.
movie. Yeah. And I mean, that broke all the molds because he was like a sexy Santa.
Oh, he just had personality. And, and I was like, all right, but if you have a kid at Christmas time, you're so desperate for like new things. And because I like him, I thought, Kurt Russell, how bad could this be? It was fantastic. And honestly, it's the night of Christmas and you have doubters that don't believe in Christmas. So how do you get them turned around? And of course, something happens with Santa. And, in the end, it's all a big maybe plan to get people to believe in Christmas again. But honestly, it's like,
Do you remember the big musical number in it?
oh my God, he's so
and
fantastic.
usually we'll get to Spirited later. Usually I hate a musical.
Yeah, we got to talk about
But the
Spirited.
Kurt Russell song in that first one was really good. But they came out with the Chronicles too, and I'm like, a sequel, it probably won't be that good. It was good.
It was good. But I'll say the first one, I remembered.
John, you don't agree? Did you see the second one?
I did. It wasn't as good.
No, because the first one, I will say, I still like the second one, but the first one, I remember like turning to my husband. I'm like, I literally have laughed. I've cried. Like the whole thing. I'm like, this is
I'm looking
amazing.
forward to watching it again every year.
Yeah, I feel like that's now in my repertoire of like I could just watch it.
That's on your rewatch rotation.
for sure.
Okay, and you know what else? I don't know who else agrees. I think it's Disney Plus. Noel with Anna Kendrick.
Yes,
That is on my
Bill
watch.
Hader.
Yeah.
That's every year now.
that's a super fun one too.
Have you seen it, Ed?
I haven't seen that one yet.
Oh my God, it's like
There's a
3
whole
years
slew.
ago.
There's a whole slew of Christmas
Oh,
movies that,
it's so- well, I
try
have-
to time it out with someone. I got someone who's like got a 3-day window.
Well, it's going to be a big decision. Christmas night, I like to trap you guys to watch a movie at my house. So which one are we going to watch? I mean, I'm kind of thinking Spirited, but
What is Spirited?
oh my gosh. So
Oh.
the best movie of all time to me, not even Christmas movie, my favorite movie of all time is Elf.
Oh,
and I
yes.
do save it just for Christmas, but it's like, that is my favorite movie of all time. So to have Will Ferrell come back and do another Christmas movie, it's like,
Oh, it's
ooh.
the brand new one.
Yeah, it's the
And Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell.
I have not gotten to that yet. Okay.
Oh my God, it was such a roller coaster for me because I was like, Will Ferrell, Christmas, I'm excited, but oh God, is it? I mean, how's it going to compete
Well,
with
because
Elf?
you've had your, I think this is one of the funniest stories with you and Elf.
What?
We all know how much you love Elf.
Yeah.
And you were so excited because there's an Elf musical.
Oh, God.
And you were like, you had planned out this whole thing, how you were going to go. And I was kind of jealous because probably not as passionate as you, but Elf is one of those things that I can watch time and time again. And I really do you find new moments in it. I just watched it the other day. And then if I get up and walk away,
I was
I'm
like
okay.
looking at the background people in it and like enjoying
Yes.
that. Yeah.
So great. So you had planned to go to the musical, which you would think why change anything related to the movie?
It was like a trek. Lauren was little. I had to get a babysitter. It was a trek to get down there. And it was like, seriously, 5 minutes. And I look at Brian. I was like, if we weren't with family, I almost wanted to leave. I was like, what are they doing to this movie? It was so like,
They messed it up.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
not
Oh,
good.
that's a
I
bummer.
really hated it. It was kind of torture to get through the whole thing. I was like, how dare you? This is horrible.
Yet the movie stands the test of time. And there, I guess at one point there was a hope they were trying to get a sequel made. And Will Ferrell just said, no.
Yeah, don't touch it.
Good call. But we just watched it last night, so we decorated the Christmas tree. And the whole plan was, Lauren had worked it out, all the details. We're going to have Elf on, and we're going to have hot chocolate, and can I have mini marshmallows on it? And anyway, but that she was so cute, we were decorating. She's like, okay, I have to take a break and watch this part of the movie. Like, I never...
Yeah, there are scenes that you're like, when he overnight builds that whole Christmas Wonderland and the reaction of the manager the next morning, it's like some of my favorite moments.
Even when he meets Zoe
Deschanel.
Deschanel, I mean, she is so adorable in that movie.
Yeah.
Jovi?
Joey. Oh, my favorite. I have to stop and watch when he when he meets the store manager.
Yeah.
And the store manager's like, "What are you doing in here?" And he's like, in the lingerie section. Get back to work and everything. Like, there's no singing in the North
Sing's my
Pole.
favorite.
Yes, there is. It's like, I love that store manager so much.
I love it's too good. It's too good. All right, so
Everything.
we're all
Everything in that movie I love. The elevator, the escalator scene with the legs. It's just the best.
No, it's one of the best movies. I mean, like, really go like, what's some of your favorite movies of all time? Like, that can always put you in a good mood. And like I said, you discover things later. 2 other movies on Netflix, I'll just say they're very kid focused. Claws, the animated, is fantastic. I'd highly recommend that.
Oh, okay.
It's sort of about it's mixed in with the mailman vibe, but it's really beautifully animated, and it's a unique story about maybe the origin of how toys were given to children. So, and then Jingle Jangle, A Christmas Journey. I actually thought it was so visually beautiful is what I really enjoyed
I could
about
try
it.
it again. I tried last year and it was too much going on. I was like,
It is
irritating.
kind of a lot. And there were moments that caused my son, he's one of those can't handle tension in a movie. So if like something's happening, he's like, I've got to go to the bathroom or I'm leaving the room. And there was something right out of the gate, at Christmas time, basically someone steals something from somebody and it sets off someone's life trajectory in a very challenging way. So it's a little more like Scrooge. Like it's not the most happiest Christmas tale, but it is beautifully shot and done. So, and that's Netflix as well.
Speaking of Scrooge and Netflix, the new Scrooge, A Christmas Carol animated feature I just watched before this podcast was awesome.
Oh, really?
And it's kind of a musical. There's maybe like 5 original good songs. I was into it. I didn't mind those songs. They helped the plot move along. And you've got some great voices as well. You've got Luke Evans as Scrooge.
Okay.
So you're kind of having to buy once you realize or look up as I did. You're like, oh right. Well, that's why he sounds so good as a Scrooge and looks a very fit looking Scrooge because he's a very fit man. Actually, he's not an old guy.
Just think about Murder Mystery.
Olivia Colman as Past was fantastic. And I also want to give a shout out to Jonathan Pryce as the ghost of Jacob Marley. He's also pretty good. If you recognize the faces of those names, because I didn't recognize the names until I put the faces up on IMDb, it was really entertaining and really good visually. And there were some really good new ways to get to and from the past and the future. And it's a little bit scary, so maybe like teenager and up. But I'd say it would be a good new version of this to watch if you're kind of tired of all the old Christmas carols.
Just to stay on the Scrooge, Bill Murray's.
Oh, yeah.
That's
the original Scrooge.
the best ever.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if you ever watched a very Murray Christmas special. So I will just in the Bill Murray, parlaying your Scrooge into Bill Murray's Scrooge is amazing.
A little
and then
side-
on Netflix, you can still watch a very Murray Christmas. And I do recommend it. It is enjoyable. So,
But just to continue, not quite Bill Murray and Scrooge. Obviously a classic. Scrooge is fantastic. I love it. But just the Christmas Carol and its, iterations.
Sure.
I think my favorite Christmas Carol is a Muppet.
Christmas Carol.
of course.
yes.
Marley and Marley. Woo!
Exactly. So incredibly perfect.
Where can you watch that currently? I'm going to.
Who knows? We
On
have
Disney
a
Plus.
VHS.
On Disney Plus.
You
Yeah.
have a
I know. I got
VHS.
it on deck. I know.
I have the DVD.
That actually, at this time of year, I typically will see some posts social about that, John. People consider it one of the best editions of it.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Now, Liz, let's be
Yes.
honest. Do you have a different favorite for A Christmas Carol? There's an actor. Now, when he does a different Christmas movie in a green suit, that's your favorite version
The
of that.
Grinch, I did not. I mean, sorry. Well, of course, the Grinch, but
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey. I didn't love that sort of odd.
Okay, you needed the suit. You needed the Grinch suit for it to be your favorite.
Well, I mean, we will hit on the Grinch. Maybe that's how we'll wrap this whole podcast up because now there's been quite a few versions of it. But I just didn't like the animation. Reminded me of what has truly grown on me, which is Polar Express.
Oh, right. Sort of that motion capture look.
Right. So when
Yeah.
I first saw it, I was like, I don't know. But it has actually grown on me. And I will say,
Hot chocolate.
hot chocolate. But I'll also say, because then I, took Ethan to the actual live experience of going on the train, which they served cold chocolate milk. So that in itself, I was like, this is bull beep. But there's a little boy in the movie that so reminded me of our nephew Luke that I just loved it. So, and my son loved it because it was trains and so on and so forth. So there was 2 or 3 years there that I probably saw it, portions of it, 3 times during the Christmas season. So it grew on me, but it's not my favorite form of animation like that. So that, going to wrap all this up, John, sorry, that Christmas Carol with Jim Carrey, no, not my favorite. Muppets is a better one.
Okay, all right. We might be now back to...
Spirited.
There
Which
you
is
go.
a pivot.
The latest
on the- yeah.
version.
It's
After that
definitely-
spirited conversation.
Back to, it's definitely a pivot on the Christmas Carol story in a very fun sort of meta way. Because, of course, Ryan Reynolds' character right off the bat is like, wait a minute, are you saying you're going to Christmas Carol me? Like, what are you talking about? But it is very much the original idea of Ebenezer Scrooge and can you be redeemed? And so
I hate musicals. So I was like, oh no, it's a musical. And I was like, not really watching it fully. I was doing stuff. And then somehow it got me. And I was like, oh, I really liked it. So then I had to watch it from the beginning again because I had not given it. I mean, I was really scared to see another Christmas movie with Will Ferrell, but it was very good. To be honest, I'm not a huge Ryan Reynolds fan, but I mean, him in that like sexy Santa suit for quite a while, it was working for me.
Oh,
and I loved
broke you down.
Octavia Spencer was great.
yeah, she was.
And I loved how during the songs, they would interrupt each other, like making fun of it. So I was like, okay, I like that.
It had a very good attitude. Because I also am not a big fan of a straight up musical. So it had just enough of a tongue in cheek, cute.
It had so much great humor. He said the leading cause of death back then was January. I know. What? Or he's like, what are you, some sort of social work for the Cosmo? Or whatever he said.
Yeah, very, very cute. I thought the older actor who played Jacob Marley, Patrick Page, who's sort of like the manager of the team that is annually haunting people, which is the conceit of this version, very good. He was great. And I loved Ghost of Christmas. Was she passed, I guess? Sanita Manny?
That was a funny...
Oh, she was so great. And a fun little direction that character's story goes in. Very cute. Yeah, I thought it was really cute.
Tracy Morgan, just his voice is so great. Just hearing his voice is great.
It's pretty amazing. You can still go back and take a classic story and twist it and make it work, especially if you have two powerhouse personalities like that.
Yeah, but a lot of singing and dancing. I mean, like really no joke.
It might have been this one song and dance number where it was like good afternoon, but in those days it meant
like F you.
Off. Yeah. So it's like, that really did get me. That was pretty hilarious. You know what it was? I know what it was. When Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds bonded, because Ryan Reynolds' character, he breaks him down. When they bonded and became friends, I was in. That was cool.
Will Ferrell's one of the best, man.
We're bros.
I was going to say friends.
Best friends?
Yeah.
I know. I was like, oh, apparently this is the Christmas Stepbrothers.
Oh, God, which is one of the greatest movies of all time.
So Spirited, that's on Apple, but on HBO Max, I ended up catching A Hollywood Christmas. It's very, very cute. I really liked it. It's very self-aware of it's basically they're making a Hallmark movie, but the director, this woman who's directing the Hallmark movie, is basically participating unwittingly in the exact trope of a Hallmark movie because the executive comes to town and they're going to shut down the whole production. It's like, oh my God, it's exactly... Anyway, and she has a little sidekick who's like, you are living a Hallmark movie right now. They never say Hallmark, actually, but, it's very cute. I enjoyed that one a lot, and that's HBO Max.
So, John, you were very surprised to hear I was going to go see Violent Night.
That's the brand new one.
What?
Hard segue into violent Christmas movies real quick.
No violence.
I mean, David Harbour from Stranger Things. I'm in. So you can see what pulls me in. But I was like, okay, well, I better make sure.
Wait, are you saying what pulls you in is hot guys?
Yes.
Okay. All right. A hot guy playing Santa Claus. Got it. Okay.
Oh my God, he is my new favorite Santa. It used to be the Kurt Russell, but now it's David Harbour. Oh my God, Liz.
I've heard of it sort of a adult version of Home Alone in some ways.
Oh my gosh. I was saying it to Ed. I'm like, it's Home Alone meets Die Hard. I thought I made that up. He's like, no, that's on all. I had to Google it. It's like, oh, okay, that is what's being said about it. But right in the beginning, there's a little girl in the movie who's so cute. She does such a great job through the whole movie, but she's just discovered the movie Home Alone and she's going to do these pranks. And so you're like, okay, that's going to come back later, obviously.
And so he does play Santa Claus in this.
He does. He's kind of like not disgruntled, but just he's kind of over it. He's like, kids today, they're so ungrateful. So he goes in this mansion and it's like, these cookies, and with some brandy, don't mind if I do it. Oh, let me sit in this massage chair. And then, then the plot unfolds.
Basically, is it from the trailers? I'm guessing it's like a home invasion.
It's a home invasion, but it ends up being a great story.
It looks very cute.
Well, that
very good.
A little bit of what you just alluded to about, sort of the do people still have the spirit of Christmas? Or one of my all-time favorites, which is a Disney production, The Prep and Landing.
Oh, the what?
Prep and Landing?
I don't know
yeah.
it. Not at all. What?
It was for ABC, right?
Yes, originally, because this was before Disney streaming even existed.
I think it was ABC Family.
So it was on ABC Family, Prep and Landing. It's animated. It tells the story of two elves that are basically, they go and prep for Santa's arrival.
Oh, okay.
And maybe something goes wrong, and how do they recover? And Dave Foley plays Wayne, who's the head elf. He is so... Catherine, how have you needed...
I don't know.
Sarah Chalk plays an amazing little voice character in it. I mean, it is so good. It's one of my favorite. And there is like moments of like Christmas cookies and all that. So it's just... and I think there's been one or two like spin-offs of it too. I mean, like, it's so good. That's one I do try to catch and watch almost every year. It just gets me in the mood.
Well, I'm looking at images of it right now. It is not ringing a bell, but it looks so cute. I don't know how I missed it.
But going back to Ginny, you saw that in the movie theater. That is not... That's currently in the theaters.
I did. It was date night, and Brian gets himself a nice big burrito, and I'm like, I'm really looking forward to popcorn.
Wait a minute. Wait.
What?
Wait, before you go to the... Right. That you added, he gets a big old burrito. It's like...
Whatever. So he gets himself Brian gets himself a full meal, and I'm like...
At the restaurant before you go into... Oh, it's a full dinner and a show.
And a movie.
Okay.
Just to clarify, is this dinner in the movie theater?
No.
Okay, all right. This is beforehand. Okay,
right.
just making sure.
So we go to dinner before the movie, and just a quick dinner, and I'm like, I'm just going to get a little cup of soup because I'm having popcorn and red vines for dinner. Oh, yeah. And I did not feel great after, but it's so good.
But Ginny, when you sat back in the lounge chair, what did you notice? Because you posted something I thought was very funny.
Oh, God. I tried on 2 different boots to see which looked better with the jeans or whatever. And it was not until I lounged my chair back, I'm like, wait, I thought I picked the other pair of boots because I had made the decision, but this is a different heel. And I was like, oh, no, I never changed. So I'm wearing 2 different boots. That's what happens with kids. Clearly someone came in my room, distracted me, and I never thought about it again.
Well, I love David Harbour, so...
He was fantastic. The plot was great.
Okay, I'm going to really, really, really try for my Tuesday movie screening.
Oh, God.
I'm going to try to get Mark.
Do it. It's so worth it.
But you don't know...
Don't jinx it. Jeez.
Okay.
Even the bad guys are great.
What you don't know, Virginia, is that we try to go see movies that are Tuesday, Regal Club, Stubbs.
This is why it's a
Stubbs.
problem.
We don't even know what we have. And
Mark would prefer that you call it studs.
Studs. And let's just say something typically goes awry. So I'm hopeful. It's going to be a Christmas miracle if it works on a Tuesday.
Well, I've heard about some of your disasters, and it's like, I got these movie tickets, and we show up there, and there's like people sitting on both sides of us. The rest of the theater's empty. It's like, come on, people. You knew these seats were already taken. Like, what?
Move around. But you took the prime seat, and then they just all gravitated towards you.
Yes. And normally I don't like violence, but I was like, listen, I got through Game of Thrones. I can handle a little bit of violence for David Harbour and a Christmas movie. It was well worth it.
All right.
Not for Christmas.
It worked.
Sorry,
it worked.
John. Well, going back like old school, will you watch things like The Holiday? And that's
that was a great
Oh,
one.
yeah.
Oh, sure.
I still love it because just
So good.
it always has the Nancy Meyer warm, fuzzy, gorgeous. Let me just dive into that room with all of its blankets and soft lighting and with a cup of hot cocoa. I mean, and Cameron Diaz was always like swaddled in some amazing blanket shawl with a bottle of wine. And I mean, this swap was so like, it was kind of one-sided. Like, yes, she got a cute little cottage, but it's like Kate Winslet, it was a house swapping.
No, she was swapping for Jude Law.
Oh my!
She
Well,
had
didn't
all
know.
of, she had all of Los Angeles, and
She-
she upgraded to Jude Law in a
She
cottage.
had no idea Jude Law was going to be there.
Yeah, that was just a bonus.
which was then when it's almost like you forget, like, oh, but that is Kate Winslet's like brother.
oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You're like,
She knew what she was doing.
yeah, you're like, my house may not be like a 10, but what's going to knock on the door is, but it, shh. So I will, that's when I can watch definitely like any time. Like if it's on, I'm like, oh, okay, watching.
John, don't you watch Love Actually every year?
Yes.
Yes, I do.
When do you watch it? Do you wait, Grinchers?
Do I watch a holiday season around the holiday? Yes, I do.
But do you have to be right within the week of Christmas or it can be earlier?
yes, the holiday season is right around Christmas. It is not.
The best part about
December
Thanksgiving,
1,
we can
December
move on
1.
to Christmas. That's what I say.
Everyone is wrong except for me.
See, I knew. So you watch Love Actually. I know a lot of people do. It's like your annual thing.
Yeah, I have, I don't know, probably, I have 4 quote unquote classics that I definitely watch each year. And then there's like 6 or 8 that are like,
ahead, list
less
them. What are
classic.
they?
What's the
Because
floor?
I think I know one
Yes.
of them. Well, I always say, like, I do love Love Actually as well. Bill Nye.
You need me to hold up note cards for you?
Yeah, she's Bill Nye is fantastic in it. And I will say I love a big ensemble. And this was like early, so Martin Freeman, it's like none of us knew like the career he was about to have. Colin Firth, Emma Thompson, Alan Rickman, one of my favorites. Like I love a big ensemble. But John, speaking of another big ensemble, I feel like there's one you're holding back from saying.
No, but I feel like we shared this one. The Family Stone.
Love it.
I know. I almost said it earlier when you did the line. Well, not wasn't really a line, but about a brother, Jude Law being the brother. It's like if you're going to talk modern Christmas movies, there is a brother line. You can't use brother anywhere else. And then she slept with his brother.
Luke Wilson and Dermot Mulroney as
Yeah.
the brothers. But it's also like, here's the deal. You can go back. It's like the Nancy Meyer world. Diane Keaton. You give me Diane Keaton pretty much almost in anything, I'm going to like give it a chance. It's not like they're perfect, but they're so good. Like Craig T. Nelson is so good. And I just love a big family. And she's such a jerk, the sister, Rachel McAdams.
Everything is perfect about it.
All right. That's one I do love as well. Gosh, there's so much to watch. So, John, yeah, you and I both love that movie. It's one of our faves.
We already talked about Spirited, but I have like a weird. First of all, we don't need to have a debate about Die Hard being a Christmas movie or not. Doesn't matter if you want to watch it. Watch it. It's great.
I
that
say
you
it is a
like
Christmas movie,
watching
but
that
okay.
at Christmas time, and if you like watching it when you're in the mood for a heist movie, do that. It's fine. Do whatever you want.
But it does take place at Christmas, so I will always say it's a Christmas movie.
It does take place at Christmas, and it's at a Christmas party, and it's just that's not what his experience was. He wasn't having a Christmas movie. That's my point. Is he isn't having a great time.
Right.
Yeah, we're not having this debate because you're wrong. Please move on to wherever
So
you're
the
going.
thing that I was
jeez.
bringing up is a different Ryan Reynolds Christmas movie that's like a weird sleeper Christmas movie. I almost never hear anyone say Just Friends.
Oh my gosh, I thought you were going to say that.
It's actually set at Christmas. He goes home for the holiday, and then he actually falls back in love with Amy Smart at the time. It's fantastic.
Was that
And
the one where he was overweight?
Yeah.
he
Oh,
was, and then he
God.
does, and it's so many throwbacks to a different time period and not Christmas and all these other stories, but it's at Christmas time and it's totally a Christmas movie.
Well, that's like when Harry Met Sally. Just because they go to New Year's, is it a Christmas movie?
No, they just do
No, because-
12 Christmases over the course of the entire freaking movie.
I think it's a New Year's Eve movie.
That one. The thing is, Christmas in New York. You know, if ever the backdrop is Christmas in New York, you just get sucked into it. So when you think of like kind of higher comedy spoof Christmas ones, I just watched the first time. It was during summer, but Four Christmases
Oh my
with
God.
another one of my favorites, Vince Vaughn.
That is hilarious.
That's a good one.
And Reese Witherspoon. You can watch it, I think, on HBO Max now. It is just, I mean, family obligations. There's big overall broad themes that they hit that are very, very funny. And just Vince Vaughn put in uncomfortable situations usually is gold.
That was a great surprise. I think I just discovered it last year and I loved it.
Yeah, I've been trying to see that since then, and it has frequently not been free, so I haven't watched it yet.
Now I will. I
Wait,
have to
hold
go.
on. Vince Vaughn's other slightly amazing.
Oh, yep.
Do you want to take it from me?
No,
Oh,
you can do it.
Okay, Fred Claus.
Yeah.
Loved Fred Claus. So good.
Pretty good, pretty good.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I want to go back to a little off-brand Santas or a little unique Santas. It's very adult, but Bad Santa.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
And I will just say with Billy Bob Thornton. Mm-hmm. I
Never
mean,
saw it.
it is just Ginny, I'll tell you this. It's not your cup of tea.
Okay.
Like no, I would not recommend that for you. You have to have kind of a
and I
warped
don't
sense
find
of
him
humor.
hot.
He's
So.
not, and trust me, he's really not hot in this. No. So I would say no. You know, one of the movies that we have to bring up that you could kind of say is it a Christmas movie or it is not, but it goes back to our family history, our lore, is Trading Places.
oh,
yeah,
my gosh.
for sure.
That's funny.
Because we, on Christmas Eve, one of our family traditions was we go to midnight mass and come back, and Mom, I think some years actually made like from scratch eggnog, and we'd be able to open up one Christmas gift.
That was back in the day where we didn't start going to the evening mass till later. That was back when we probably went to the Dragons family party.
Okay, right.
House
Totally.
party, and
Yeah.
there were people that were leaving to go to midnight mass that started at midnight, so there was kind of an exodus around 11:15.
I was
Yeah.
And
definitely
then
in bed.
we booked it and went down the street back to our house and opened one present before everyone was like, go to sleep. We still have
And
to set Christmas
a
on.
box of C's candy because Mom was a teacher. You didn't know what you were getting.
There was a lot of C's candy, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Mom would be making eggnog, and, there was a wide range. So there was some older siblings and younger. Now, we would watch things on Channel Z that were inappropriate for sure for the younger kids. And we, for some reason, and we would watch something while this was all going on, which is like, what chaos, but still. And Trading Places is on, and we're like, oh, this is a Christmas movie. Now, there is quite a few inappropriate moments. Ed at the time is maybe 8 years old, but we always let him kind of be part of anything that he was around. So we were all watching Trading Places, but it's on Channel Z, so it's going to have all the inappropriate moments.
Right. It's not edited for TV.
No. So, and it is one of the best. So let's just say at one point, Dan Aykroyd's character is he's in a Santa costume, another very beraggled Santa. And he's really
Bedraggled?
Bedraggled, beraggled, bewinkled. So he is down on his luck, and he comes back he's staying with Jamie Lee Curtis, who is a woman of the evening, a hooker. So in New York, but it's Christmas time. And she decides to warm him up by, snuggling with him. And she reveals still one of the best racks ever. But I mean,
Shout out Jamie Lee Curtis.
right. So basically, our family den goes silent, and we're like, and someone covers Ed's eyes, and he goes, "Well, I've already seen it."
Right.
Now, whoops, because that means the older siblings have allowed him to watch it already.
Well, and the thing is, it's not like you guys always let me watch stuff. Sometimes I was just sneaking around the couch behind
Yep.
you. I can't believe that you didn't notice that I was there.
I think Dad,
Whatever, it's fine.
Dad was enjoying the movie so much when that happened. I think he kind of laughed it
That
off.
was one of Dad's classic moments where we all thought Christmas is ruined. We're all going to get killed because we let Eddie basically see a new topless lady at age 8. But that was one of those moments that Dad just sort of went like,
Oh, well.
whatever. It was
It
another
worked out-
Christmas miracle that we all survived.
Worked out fine. I went to art school. I had to do live nude studies, so all good people.
It's all thanks to Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yep.
So that's another one is still one of my favorites.
What I did not realize, that's considered a loose adaptation of The Prince and the Pauper, which is a Mark Twain story.
Oh.
I did not know that. So, fine, yes, you have the Disney 1990 animated Mickey Mouse version, as well as like a million other versions. But I did not realize that's all from Mark Twain.
They sometimes will say like, oh, it's like a King Lear modern adaptation. So that's interesting. They did a twist on it that we didn't even recognize that's what it was. Ginny, do you watch the Bad Mom movies or the Bad Mom's Christmas?
I did actually see Bad Mom's Christmas in the theater.
Oh.
I'm really into Christmas movies. I also saw, I think it was called A Christmas Party, which was like,
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
that
The
was a
Office
great one.
Party?
The Office.
The
Party.
Office
yeah.
Christmas
Oh.
Well, hold on. It's the Office Christmas Party.
Yes, that is
It's hilarious.
that's along the lines of, it's a spoof high concept comedy in the Christmas genre.
Yeah, that's like the Bridesmaids version of
Yes.
a Christmas movie.
I
But
mean,
the Bad Mom's Christmas was great.
yeah, that's great. And actually, I was going to bring up the Office Christmas Party because it's just, the huge sort of broad, foibles and accidents and, things are going way south. And
Very
it's
fun.
stunts and catastrophes and yeah. Mhm.
but super fun within that sort of not taking Christmas too stuffy. It's like,
Well,
oh my God.
I love romance and the pretty scenery of Hallmark, but I mean, anytime I can get a good laugh.
Yes. And I think
So-
there is, those carry a big weight of laughter. I mean, it's high concept comedy. I mean, they're going for it.
Well, yeah,
sure.
and Violent Night, we got some good laughs in.
Oh
So
gosh, I
goal
want to
was
look for it.
achieved.
Now, does everybody watch the classic Charlie Brown Christmas?
I haven't watched it in years.
It's perfection. Ginny, what's your problem?
Wah, wah.
Oh my gosh.
Just for the music alone.
Wow. I know our sister Rosemary loves them. And I think Apple TV is where you can catch it now. You know, I think this was the first year the Thanksgiving one did not actually
Wasn't broadcast.
So,
Oh.
but Charlie Brown Christmas, I don't know. Sorry, Virginia. Wah, wah. How dare you?
I know. Rosie likes all the classics, like the Rudolph. What is
Yes,
that?
also
Rankin and Bass.
perfection.
Oh, God.
Well, Rankin and you are not a Rankin and Bass fan?
No.
Are we the same family? What is happening here?
Well, look, there is one aspect. The Rudolph is the best one. You could just watch that one.
Right.
Okay.
Oh,
Versus
God.
the Island of
I
Misfit
can't even
Toys.
get through it. I cannot.
Wait. So then you're closer to our nieces because when our nieces are very young, Rosie got really excited they were coming for Christmas. So she recorded, and this goes back, like on a VHS machine, all the Rankin and Bass that aired before Christmas week. So, you know, you have to catch them. They start airing like December 1st and 2nd. So she was recording them on the VCR and stopping and starting them. So there was no commercial breaks. I mean, it was intense.
Oh, God.
So we
Doing a
sit
live edit.
Yeah. So
She's
we
a very dedicated aunt.
Yeah.
That's so sweet.
and you know, James and Michelle were so happy to have like 20 or 30 minutes away from them. It's like, yeah, yes, go watch this with your aunts. And the first one we watched was, you know, the Christmas one where it's, you know, Father Christmas.
They are creepy.
And
Yeah, that's the one with the heat miser, right?
Heat
That
miser.
one's,
oh my God, they were like, they were screaming. They were like so terrified. I mean, so I'd be curious today if they can watch them because Rosie and I scarred them at a very young age. But Rosie and I love them. I love them. But sorry, Virginia.
Not my jam. Not my jam.
Ed, have you watched a Claymation Christmas?
I have not cracked that one open yet with Mom. That was it's gonna open an old wound that I don't want to like resurface. What was the Easter one that we watched or something?
It should not be named.
Whatever. We don't have to bring it up. But there was another claymation
God.
holiday that I like. Hey, Mom, you like that Christmas one? Let's watch this one. And it was like, nope, that was a fail.
Oh,
Okay, wait. Speaking of mom,
Well, here, one second. It is a Claymation Christmas celebration. So everybody go out and find it.
Yeah.
Ginny, tell us something else.
okay. I have had mom over the years, you know, come hang out with us. We'll have lunch or we'll have dinner and, you know, we'll put a Hallmark movie on. But she is like insane. It's like, pause it. I can't hear it. Turn it up. I can't hear it. It's like, Mom, nothing's happening. Like, yeah. Like,
it's the
she gets so
same thing.
intense about it.
It's the same thing. It's gonna work out.
But mom was like, she would babysit for me so I could go to like a doctor's appointment and then like want to finish watching the cartoon she had started watching with the kids. Like, Mom,
Oh,
you don't
geez.
need to know what happened to Caillou at the end of this episode.
Didn't this happen like last week with
What they watched Rapunzel. I was like, cool, my girls have already seen it. I'll pick them up. We'll go. But I knew, I was like, Brian, she's going to want to have us
Finish
stay
watching
until it's over. But
my
Hallmark
gosh.
is like, Mom, it's like, you kind of just half watch them. You don't
Yeah,
really give it your full
yeah.
attention.
For sure. In our house, I just have Hallmark.
They're just on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, that's your
Yeah.
background watching this time of year?
Yeah, I do get
Terrible.
sucked in. I'm not good at background watching, as we have previously discussed. So I
Right.
do get sucked in. But then I've seen most of them. So it's only the new ones. It's kind of just like, oh, it's that one again. Some of them I like, some of them I don't like, you know,
Exactly.
whatever.
There's so many. So I definitely pick, I want the new ones. And then I pick based on the lead male usually.
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not
obviously
into
gotta
the
be hot.
blondes. Sorry, Ed, but
No, I think you're exactly right. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what the producers are discussing when they're like, well, who should we hire? Well, they're going to be picking based on the lead male. So
you give it you give it 5-10 minutes. If you're not into it, you bail, move on to the next one. But
Do you guys going like way back, Miracle on 34th Street or It's a Wonderful Life?
I'm in big trouble because It's a Wonderful Life I have not seen, and I get in trouble. Everywhere I get in so
Oh,
much
wow.
trouble. I know. And Rosie even gave me like the DVD last year and was like, watch it.
You've
it's
never
available
seen it?
on like 5 different streaming platforms
I know.
right
And
now.
you know what? They had a preview for it when we went to see Violent Night that it's going to be like in the theater for one night. I'm like, I think I might have to do that.
That would
Because-
be worth it.
I have tried a couple times at home, and the beginning is like, what is happening? And there's some weird, I can't
Oh, all
get
right.
past it.
It's a classic.
It's
I
pretty
mean,
great,
yeah.
actually. But yeah, maybe depending on the age you were, it may have not resonated or drew you in. But as an adult, I think it would be. Listen, it's one of those movies that like hits you very differently at certain places or times of your life. And now as an adult, it's
I feel
very
obligated. I've
different
got
impact.
to get to it. I've got to get to it.
Pause,
Miracle-
pause for a second because I think I'm on your side, Virginia. I think I understand what's going on because I was actually going to bring this up. That is such a weird classic. I love that movie. I will watch that movie. I've sometimes found it only colorized and had to turn the color off on the TV to get it back to black and white. Like, no, you're doing it wrong. I'm going to fix that for you.
Yeah.
But it starts and ends super weird. Are we all forgetting it starts with an angel in space?
Yeah,
It's just a talking blob.
Like a planet. What's happening?
You have no concept of the 85% of the rest of the movie. So you really do have to get first that.
I have to get past it.
You have to get past that part. Once you get into the actual plot, you're great. But I was going to bring up, like, that is such a weird wackadoodle storytelling spot.
Yeah.
Well,
but
and
I still love it.
I tried to watch it with the kids, and it was like, they
No.
want
Yeah,
no.
that's what I'm saying.
Now, I am not on that page, so I'm ready to turn the page. But I feel like I also am not super into Miracle on 34th Street, but I feel like that's a more straight-ahead classic.
You haven't seen that one either?
No.
I felt like our household, like as kids, we had to watch it like
I was in bed.
a lot.
I went to bed.
You did put yourself to
Probably.
bed. Yes, you did. That's true.
It's much more straightforward Christmas movie than It's a Wonderful Life. Almost doesn't even feel like a Christmas movie.
Oh, no,
because
yeah.
it's like so much flashback and it's so heavy. And where Miracle on 34th Street, it's basically, is Santa real? Yes.
Do you believe in Santa?
Well, just to go back to
Yeah.
a different classic that is strange. I apparently decided for myself. No, I mean other people somewhere think this. Meet Me in St. Louis. It's on my Christmas list every year.
Really?
Clang,
It's
clang,
an-
clang, clang with the trolley.
Yeah,
dun,
perfect.
dun, dun with the bell.
Yeah, it's a whole year, so there's a very, very small amount that's at Christmas.
Judy Garland's so gorgeous in it. Oh,
But they do make homemade ketchup, so that's an important
That
thing.
was an eye-opening experience. I think of that frequently.
what? Okay. Well, then, all right. Two other classics, which I'm going to be curious, Ginny, if you're,
Uh-oh.
because I
I'm in
think
the
it's a
doghouse.
family thing. Nightmare Before Christmas.
I don't like it.
I knew it. I could sense you were not.
No.
Oh, who?
I don't
are
even like
you?
when Disney takes over the haunted house with that.
Oh, it's one of my
Disneyland.
favorite.
Oh,
No, that
Nope.
myself, Eddie, Rosemary is obsessed. Catherine, what's your verdict?
I'm kind of,
Indifferent.
yeah, I like it, but I don't necessarily
I can
find
watch it
myself
again and
watching
again
it
and
over
again.
over. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Halloween movie.
No, Nightmare Before Christmas. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know what happens before Christmas?
My
First of
head
all,
just
Halloween.
First of all,
exploded.
Nightmare Before Christmas is just a animated Die Hard. He's trying to like heist Christmas.
Yes, exactly.
John.
But
It's a
Halloween
movie,
just
you're right.
ended. It's the Christmas season. How dare you?
Well, I had one last new guy that I wanted to throw into the mix that I don't know if anybody else watched because we talk a lot about some old ones, but I watched the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special. on
Oh,
Disney
that's on my
Yes,
agenda.
yes.
with
Yeah.
Kevin Bacon. I won't ruin anything. It was frigging awesome.
Oh, yes, I
It
agree.
was so much fun. And if you're not into the Christmas musical, fine. But Kevin Bacon's going to be singing. I'm sorry. You're going to get some Kevin Bacon singing. He's not. What is he going to do with his life at this point? He's going to sing.
Well, he is a musician.
And I knew because, I follow a bunch of people on social media that sometimes they say, spoiler alert. I'm like, whatever, I'll catch it and when I catch it. So I kind of knew what the real plot was before. And so I had the heads up about the sweet, ending that it was going to be. So it was really, really nice that I knew that the entire time. It was like I was being in on the secret the whole time.
I saw a great little interview with James Gunn, the director, basically helms the Guardians of the Galaxy. And he said they were on set filming, one of the movies, and someone made a joke about it.
Oh.
I mean, it was a cast member, someone, and basically, you strike while the iron's hot, or where there's interest. They basically turned around a script within 2 weeks and presented it to Marvel. What do you think? And that's why we have this gift. So it's
wow.
an offhanded comment turned into what will be probably for those of us that love the Marvel universe, like a Christmas classic for us.
Well, and it's a nod to the Christmas special from Star Wars.
Yes.
Which you can see 5 minutes of that, just the part with where they introduce Boba Fett, but the rest of it, Disney's still not letting out.
No, it's funny because I follow Mark Hamill on social, and he will make a joke usually around Christmas time about it because it's notoriously bad, but it's like the holy
You
grail.
have to watch
you can't
a
find
bootleg,
it.
very bad quality copy. I've watched it. It is 2 hours long. It is ridiculously long. I thought it was going to be a half an hour. I think I made John watch it, and we're like an hour and a half in. I'm like, well, I don't know what's happening. It's still going.
I don't think I remember that.
Okay, it's fine.
You blocked it
Good
out.
job. You blocked it out the one time.
Which, by the way, when I went to see A Violent Night, there was a preview for an Ant-Man movie, which I'm not as versed in Marvel, but I'm like, that looked really good.
Oh, just start with the first one. It's almost a standalone.
I mean, I love
just the Ant-Mans with Paul Rudd.
You'll
Yeah, you
totally
can
enjoy them. Well, speaking of classics, we're not going to bring up
White Christmas, another classic. Jeez.
Oh, White Christmas is good.
Well, I was going to say, even though we just did a huge fans on A Christmas Story, obviously that's one of the family favorites, A Christmas Story.
That 24 hours a day.
I mean, we love it.
Starting at Christmas Eve.
When I first got together with Brian and he was like not into the movie, I was like, what? This is like part of our family culture. You have to love this movie.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where it's such a cultural zeitgeist if someone has missed it, which bizarrely, like, you know,
People do still, yeah.
Most of us never saw it in the movie theater. So it was catching it on cable or catching it on a VHS or something along. I think I first ever watched it on a VHS.
At home. I mean,
Yeah.
I think we watched it maybe even after Thanksgiving dinner and definitely after Christmas dinner.
Oh, Christmas Eve starts now, and it's been for quite a few years, just a 24-hour run on TBS.
It's so great.
No, it's fabulous. And we do a whole Huge Fans podcast.
Yep,
Please-
dedicated episode.
And we kind of talk about the whole world of A Christmas Story that's out, because there is a brand new
entire Parker family saga.
You're
John?
right. Because right now on HBO Max, there is a new version, which is sort of a continuation of the story, starring really
Peter Billingsley, the original
little guy. And it's called The Christmas Story.
Christmas.
Yeah, I was going to say not 2, because there is a Christmas Story 2, and you do not want to
That's a
confuse
different
the two.
thing.
No,
Yeah.
no,
Well,
no.
that was probably my favorite part about it. They had several of the same actors.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite was when Flick came on as a cop. I was like, oh my God, he looks exactly the same.
No, that's not
What?
Flick. That's
Not Flick.
Scott.
Scott Farkas.
Scott Farkas.
Scott Farkas. Yeah, we almost pronounced it. But Flick is on it, and he's great.
he's
They're in the
great too.
bar. They're in the bar, and they're
Schwartz's
dynamic.
bar.
Yeah, Schwartz's bar. It's a good dynamic.
Ed, is there another classic, not classic, that you need to mention? Dudley Moore, Santa Claus the movie.
I
What?
wasn't going to bring that up because we kind of put off like the energy of a Dudley Moore vibe because we're doing a lot of hot guys in Netflix and like Hallmark movies. I'm like, well, I'm not going to bring up the
Dudley Moore.
5'1" piano player drunk guy. It's fine. I love him. But Santa Claus the movie is a classic. It might be that and like, what was the one with the reindeer? There's 2. One year I saw Santa Claus the movie in the theater. That was a big
So
treat.
wait, this is with Dudley Moore, and he's playing an elf.
And John Lithgow, and he's an elf.
John Lithgow looks diabolical.
He
in
is
this,
diabolical.
which I love. John Lithgow.
And it is fantastic. It's a really
This
classic,
looks
campy.
insane.
There's
From-
a whole other
from
plot line with like a
1985.
homeless kid. It's great. It's great. You should totally watch
What?
it.
I should.
We have to watch
I have
this.
it. I have it on DVD if you need to borrow it.
Oh my
Yes,
God.
please.
Okay. You have a DVD.
I'm in.
Okay. That might not make my classic list.
Prancer. That was the other one I was thinking of. That was the other Christmas movie.
Prancer,
my-
sure.
Which is, you know, it's not a classic, but it's one of those 80s ones, 80s, 90s ones. That's when you grew up. You watched that. You probably had it on VHS. You probably watched it 75 times in the summer.
Okay, let's wrap it up with The Grinch.
Yes.
Because there's
Which
been a
one?
couple, there's been a couple iterations. Obviously, the original cartoon, we're all huge fans. Was it a book and then a cartoon? I
Yes.
guess so. Technically, I don't know if I saw the animated thing first and then the book.
Our house had, so the Dr. Seuss, The Grinch Who Stole Christmas, we've had a version of the book in our house, I think, since we were all born. I mean, so it's just always been around. So probably the animated classic that is 1966 is before most of us were born. So we would
We would have caught it like on TV, obviously.
Well, that was, I think, cable back then. So it's like,
Sure.
be able to catch it and be at home. And it's, from, like I said, 1966. It was a television special and co-produced by Chuck Jones. And Boris Karloff is the voice of the Grinch and the
Right.
narrator. And it's really short. I mean, it's like, if for kids' attention spans today, it's almost too short. Kids are like, what the heck? It's like, I don't even know. It's like under an hour. It's something crazy like that. But, that's Cindy Lou Who. This is all of our introduction to Grinch. It's beautifully animated.
The best part of the original classic to me is the Grinch song, which when it comes on the radio in the car, it's
Mr.
so
Grinch.
fun to sing.
It's so good.
And shout out to our cousin Rob Couture, because he did a version of it. I think he did it in his son's classroom a couple years ago, and someone recorded it so he could put it on Facebook. He nailed it. He was amazing.
Well, the lyrics are by Dr. Seuss.
That song is so good.
Yeah, I just heard it on the radio the other day. And I mean, crocodile and you just start laughing because it really is crazy.
It was one of our, we're listening to this podcast trivia in the car with me and the girls, and it was Christmas songs, and it was like, what is the Grinch's head filled with? Spiders. I was like, oh, spiders. I mean, it's just like, ow, the description of him.
Oh, well, and
You're a mean one,
there you go,
Mr. Grinch.
Yep.
slippery black banana. I mean, it's just so great.
And then you have Cindy Lou Who and Whoville and all that. It's in today's times, it's kind of like sparse animation, but the colors and the way they did it was so beautifully done.
Well, actually, when I first tried to watch it with Lauren, she was terrified because the eyes were yellow. It was just.
Oh, she noticed that? Really?
Oh, that the Grinch was just really.
Well,
she had a hard time.
Yes, he is unattractive.
So it's a good thing it was short, because I kind of forced her to stick with it. It's like, come on, it's a classic. You got to watch this. You're 3, buck up, kid.
Yeah,
you're old enough.
There are times you want to say to your kids, it's going to turn out okay. Can you just get through this? Calm down. But, Max the dog, this is where we learned who hash. This is where roast beast. That is where all the world of Grinch got implanted in our brains.
Sure.
So really, when Jim Carrey, it was rumored that there was a new Grinch live action in the works. And that was in 2000. And it was directed by Ron Howard. It felt like, how are you going to do this right? I had so little faith in it, and I'm sure some people still don't like it. I ended up loving it because of some of the lines. I thought the Cindy Lou character, played by Taylor Momsen, was so good. It was Jeffrey Tambor, Christine Baranski, Molly frickin' Shannon. I mean, some of the support characters were so fantastic.
I mean, you said it. The way we describe the original animation is Boris Karloff. Is there a single other person that you think of, or a voice, or anything else about that? So if you just replaced him, it would fall apart. But they replaced everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody was of quality and of a level that you're like, oh, okay, well, if you built out the Whoville, then we're doing something. Oh, all right, I'm into this.
Yeah, I felt like Ron Howard did a beautiful job with it. It really was such an homage to the classic and then building on it. I mean, I love the song that Cindy Lou Who sings. And Jim Carrey, I mean, it's a cash ball. I mean, some of his lines, I mean, are so brilliant. And Bill Irwin, who plays Lou Who or Lulu Who, is fantastic. So it was such good actors around it. And then the set design was incredible. And it stayed true enough to the origin story that we all know, but then gave background. Because the idea that the Grinch, of why he's bitter, and it's explained that he basically was like, the stork got a little off track and he didn't go to his Grinch land. He went to Whoville and was raised by, Mindy Sterling was one of them, but 2 ladies in Whoville, and he did not fit in, made more sense. I love it. It's one of those, like I said, I was like, how dare they? How's this going to work out? I still love it, and I think you can pretty much watch it, I don't know, anywhere, but it's very different.
Is the Cindy Lou Who song, is that Where Are You Christmas? Oh my gosh, it's so sweet.
Oh, well, now I hate it, the two of you. Oh my God, you ruined it.
We win.
It's so cute.
Now, the next Grinch that I'm aware of is the animation movie that came out with Benedict Cumberbatch.
You nailed it.
So that is 2018. Listen, they've upped the animation style, so it's very different. Mindy Sterling's in it again, by the way. Man, she really dipping into I don't know which character she played, but really dipping into it. And I will say for myself, out of the 3, it's number 3 for me. But my son might, because he was the right age, that might be his number 1 as of that time. Now, as a teenager who, what do you think?
Yeah, well,
the Jim Carrey would probably resonate more.
For his entire life, that's what you've been working on him. So, yes.
It's going to happen.
Trying to bring him over to your side.
Ginny, which one's your favorite?
I was not expecting to like the new animated one. Lauren asked me to watch it with her one year where it's like, I've got so much to do. It was like maybe even right after Christmas and I wanted to be busy cleaning up and doing things. She really wanted me to sit and watch it with her, like the whole movie, which was a big commitment. And I did really like it.
No, I know a lot of people do. So, and Pharrell Williams, is the narrator, and he actually does a great job. And Angela Lansbury, God rest her soul, and Keaton Thompson. And I do think, the Cumberbatch does a good job. But I just, like I said, I like it, but it's my number 3. Anybody else have opinions?
I mean, I will say, though, the original, him at the end and them all coming together, you can't beat that. And the song, I mean, there's nothing better.
No, his heart grew 3 times that day.
Yes.
Well, I also feel like the time commitment on the first one is like,
Yes.
yeah, that's the
Man,
easiest
that works
one
for me.
to
That
handle.
works.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just looked it up. It's 26 minutes. Perfect.
Yeah. I will say this, one of the TBSs or TNTs, when they weren't doing a marathon, did a special presentation of the original animated Grinch, and there were intros in between the commercial breaks by Phil Hartman, and he did some great intros, and one of them was how they made the sound of the bag of presents landing on the roof when like the Grinch throws it out and it lands and it scrunches on the snow, and it's just biting into an apple, but when there's more than one, you have to do multiple bites in the apple. And he just deadpans straight to the camera and bites huge chunks out of this apple, lets it fall out of his mouth.
I do love that moment.
Amazing. But that's like also tied to that original one for me. And I miss Phil Hartman. So.
Yes, who doesn't miss Phil Hartman? And, speaking of Jim Carrey, that makeup, he talks about, it was basically like he had to go through like torture therapy because it was
PTSD.
so awful. But Rick Baker, who is considered one of the best makeup artists ever, did win an Oscar for the work on that Grinch because, and I think with Gail Ryan, because it was so fantastic. But I mean, that's one of those things that Catherine, you can relate. They tried to put yellow contacts in you from The Man That Fell to Earth. That's a whole other story on one of our other podcasts. But every square inch of Jim was covered by prosthetics and makeup and hair. And I mean, so they won an Oscar for that. And I love it. It's one of my favorites, Jim Carrey. I mean, just the facial expressions that he makes. And Max, the real dog, was so great in it.
You gave Morgan a Max stuffed animal for Christmas one year, and she still gets it out, her favorite. We had a whole bin of Christmas stuffed animals, and I was like, okay, just pick your favorites. They all didn't make it out onto their beds, but Max, of course, did.
Well, I love it. I think it's on HBO Max. I mean, I think you can find them everywhere at this time of year.
And you can rent them places. Sometimes if you don't have the service that it's on, it'll be available through Apple or Hulu if you pay like $3 or whatever.
Well, I love me some Christmas t-shirts, so I was actually Googling. I specifically wanted like, don't be a Grinch t-shirt. I found a few on Amazon. I didn't pull the trigger because I'm like, well, I don't know if that seems rude though. Don't be a Grinch.
Virginia, did you bring us something? Did you have little gifts for us?
I did. Let's see.
I think those shirts would work if you just put something on the back that says,
Speaking of,
or I'll make your heart grow sizes.
Oh my gosh, you guys, they're Grinch sweats.
I was like, just rock those while you're wrapping and everything.
Oh my,
Those
rock
look so
them. I'm
you.
wrapping. I'm going to like go to the grocery store in these.
Yeah, those are 24/7.
So these got the classic 1966. It says The Grinch, Dr. Seuss, and there's a little Grinch, Cindy Lou Who,
cute.
and Max with a reindeer antler. Oh,
That was the only size they had or bigger. So you know what? Wash them, shrink them. They'll be fine.
well, those are big.
I know. They were too cute. I'm like, you know what?
But they're
Just
going to be
wash
very
them.
loose at Christmas,
Yeah,
which
just-
is probably
it'll
a
work.
good thing
It'll
for all the
work.
treats. Because like if anybody knows me about this time of year, it's like it's all about peppermint. I am an eggnog gal, although I've gone to the oat nog.
Oh, no.
Oat nog, and it's like, chocolate. Like, so maybe these really
you
big
did-
sweats are a good idea, Virginia.
You did hook me up. The eggnog with the crushed ice and like the little what was cinnamon on top.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
I can turn it around, girl.
oat nog, beet nog. I hate oat nog.
Beetloaf. Okay. I like a twins action for the brothers.
Oh, we got new.
Yeah, this
So
is,
you guys need to wear
shirts.
these when you're putting up the Christmas lights
Yeah,
and doing
we'll
the tree.
see. I don't know.
You're doing it.
We got
Decorating.
multiple twinned shirts.
John,
Thank
just
you.
what you need. More
Ooh.
t-shirts.
Did they say the same thing, John?
Yes, we are
Okay,
both.
both team nice. Thank
Team
goodness.
nice.
Team
I was
nice.
worried that
Wait
they had
till
been
you-
specifically designed.
Oh my God. I bought so many t-shirts. So the nephews are all getting matching t-shirts too.
They'll love it.
Oh, snap.
Oh, they'll like.
I almost got you guys in on that too, but it's very hard to find the right sizes. Catherine's is not really like funny, but It just looked like it would be cute for you.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Just
Well,
look
it's got
kind
a
of you.
little
Look kind of
fanciness.
That's
like you could be
cute.
wearing that right now.
Yeah, it's sort of black with a little gold and red Christmas tree stuff on it. Very cute.
Nice.
That does look like something I would wear.
Perfect.
Too nice.
Thank you, Gigi.
Yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus.
No.
I do get that occasionally from people.
Oh yeah. What classic is that from?
It's actually from a news article. It was not the I think, I'm not sure. I read this 20 minutes ago and now I can't remember if it was the title or not, but it was, I was like, wait, isn't it from a movie? No. Okay, great.
Oh, yeah. I think it was a campaign from maybe even a department store related or something like that. Yes, it was a write-in, basically Santa letter. So
No. It was a campaign for Virginia Slims. Yes, Virginia, there
There
is
you
a Santa
go.
Claus, and he would like you to sit on his lap.
Editorial in the New York Sun in 1897.
1897?
Yeah, the title was, Is There a Santa Claus? So I think the parting line is, yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus.
Oh.
Okay.
And then, frankly, Virginia, I don't give a damn.
Oh, God.
So I just thought we'd end on a quote from Grinch, one of our favorites.
Oh, gosh, great.
And, it's just to give all of you a sense of what we should remember is important about the holidays or
Okay.
however you celebrate your holidays with your family and friends. The Grinch, with his Grinch feet ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling. How could it be so? It came without ribbons. It came without tags. It came without packages, boxes, or bags. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more. And you know what I just realized? I completely forgot. In high school, I played the Grinch in
Oh,
a high
my gosh.
school
You
production.
cannot forget. No.
And our younger sister, Rosemary, at the time, played one of the Whovilles, basically Cindy Lou Who. And my costume was like green.
You rocked it.
Yeah,
I was so proud of you.
I was like green. It was like sequins. I decided to be kind of a sexy Grinch, but I had almost no lines because it was based on the original book.
You had a lot of attitude.
So I had to have a lot of attitude. I was the early Jim Carrey, a lot of facial expressions projecting from the stage, and they had narrators and things like that. I mean, I literally think I said 2 or 3 words the whole time. But when I sneak into the house to steal things from Cindy Lou Who's home, Rosie and I had worked out this bit where she was sleeping on her present because she can't wait to open it in the morning. And so we did perfect timing where I, with my big, Grinch feet,
Yeah, you had like boots with long toes or something.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I kick it out from underneath her and it goes right into the fireplace and disappears. Now, she was supposed to be prepared for this, so her head would go down softly. But in like the Saturday night production, it's like she knew I was coming.
The adrenaline was pumping. I don't know.
So I do it and it goes right into the fireplace perfectly. But the big bang you hear is her head dropping onto the stage.
You might have kicked it harder than...
Yeah, so I gave her a mild concussion.
We wanted to make sure Cindy Lou stayed asleep.
Yeah, she was knocked out cold.
Dad really got a kick out of that.
Yeah, I mean, so yes, I was. That's why I love the Grinch so much. I was the Grinch.
There you go.
There you go.
That makes sense.
Well, thank you for joining us for this special edition of What We Are Watching, holiday movies and TV shows with our sister
yeah.
Gigi, who is a huge fan of Hallmark rom-com, as John likes to say, movies.
Yeah, I rock the mistletoe in my house. My
do?
husband like avoids it. The girls thinks that's hilarious.
He avoids it. Oh
It's
my
all
gosh.
part of the
He's got to get in the Christmas mood.
I love Christmas.
Yeah, same here. But like we said, happy holidays to all of you, all the different holidays, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you're celebrating. We wish you the very best. And thank you for listening to What We Are Watching. Follow us on all of our social channels on podcast watching. We appreciate it. Your listening is a gift to us, and we want to keep giving back to you. So once again, thank you for listening to What We Are Watching.